Hello and welcome to TUBONGE Tax, the show that provides you with all the tax information that you need to stay informed. I'm your host, Linda Louise. In this episode, we will talk about Ushuru Mashinani. And to help us understand Ushuru Mashinani, I'm joined by two ladies, Ms. Penina Mbata from the Domestic Taxes Department of Kenya Revenue Authority, and Ms. Corazon Aquino from Tax Education, based at the headquarters in Nairobi. So to start us off, perhaps Corazon, you can help us understand what is Ushuru Mashinani.
Hi Linda, it's in the name, tu vile name inasema, Ushuru Mashinani. So it came about when we realized there is no way I'll be able to serve everyone at the comfort of Times Towers or the offices of KRA. Right. So Ushuru Mashinani is taking services to the grassroots, uko ndani, as deep as you can be. Mkuru kwa Jenga, in Kibera. So we provide services on site. So what we do is giving our taxpayers an opportunity to give them the service that will bring them to Times Towers, for example. We bring it to where they are because we understand that time is money, and we understand that not everyone will be able to come to Times Tower for one reason or another. So just to be able to encourage them to comply, we take the services to the grassroots level. So that is basically what Ushuru Mashinani is.
So ni ile kwenda kuongelesha wananchi and telling them about taxes.
Yes.
And Penina, you're joining us from Central Region. Perhaps you can help us just understand how far is Central Region? How many counties does it cover? How many locations are there in terms of KRA spread for Central Region?
Thank you for that question. Now, Central Region covers Kiambu County, it covers Murang'a County, it covers Nyeri County. We are starting all the way from the superhighway. We are going all the way to the slopes of Mount Kenya.
Yes.
And Ushuru Mashinani is something that we have taken as a region, and we're actually getting to the roots of what we can define as our customer base. We actually want to bring them to tax knowledge and get them to understand what is this that KRA wants to drive home and what is this that KRA expects of them.
Right.
So basically, that is an experience we are working on. It is something we've already started, and we are hoping to see it reach more and more people.
All right.
Yes.
So you've spoken about Central Region. I'm just curious. KRA has how many regions, and perhaps how do they, do they have the same number of counties, or it depends on the spread of the region, the geographical spread and stuff like that?
Okay. KRA has 6 regions. We are basically all over the country.
Yes.
We are starting from Western Region to Central Region to North Rift Region, South Rift Region. We have looked at Southern Region. We're also in Northern Region.
Yes.
So our presence is actually in various,
countrywide.
Yes.
All right.
In various positions, maybe in tax service offices.
Yeah.
We also have a presence in Huduma centers.
Right.
We have service centers. And most recently, we have now this initiative that we are discussing about today.
Okay.
Yes.
So Corey, Penina has mentioned something about the service centers. Perhaps you can help us understand. In light of these service centers, what are the service points that KRA uses to reach mwananchi kule chini?
I don't know if you did geography. Did you do geography when?
Well,
yeah. If you did not do geography, or the little that you do, there used to be those far-flung places that we only used to read them in books.
That's true.
And when it comes to KRA, we have to serve all of them. Everyone is a taxpayer, and everyone deserves to be given the same service across board.
Yeah.
So this is what you need to just have to picture in your mind. Coming somewhere all the way from Kakuma, it's at the border.
Right.
Kakuma at the border of the North Rift region.
Yeah.
Come all the way to maybe in an island called Fumi, somewhere in Lamu. Push it down to Siopot, things that you only heard of when you are doing your geography.
Right.
So when it comes to services, we looked at the 47 counties, and we ask ourselves, how is KRA able to plug in?
Yeah.
So it usually takes different measures. So ya kwanza tunaangalia Times Towers. Who can we cater for in Times Towers? And then Nairobi is fairly big, and with the jam and traffic and everything, are we in a position where we can add this service center? So you'll find in Nairobi we have, we call them tax service offices that are across in Nairobi. So you'll find us at CBC, where we'll be able to serve people in west of Nairobi, as we call it in Nairobi. You'll find us somewhere in Isili, where we are able just to cater for these people. You'll find us in Westlands. You'll find us in town, where we'll be able to cater for this. But when we look at now the Akinasi Airport, then we ask ourselves, how can I serve these people in Seaport? We have our customs department. They have presence at all the border points. So, and we usually just join with them to see if we can be able to provide those services. If you go to any Huduma Center across the country, you will find KRA presence in it. And that is just us trying to see how best can we plug in and collaborate and find a place where what they need is information, what they need is the service. So can I have 2 or 3 people at the Huduma Center to be able to offer this quick service that people need? We have also TSOs across the major towns, and I'm going to just ask Penina to talk into it. So we have TSOs, which are hosted by Domestic Taxes Department. So the other thing that we ask ourselves, nitafikia aje ule mwenye siwezi fikia? Because Huduma Center, you can be rest assured, it's not everywhere. Even the TSOs are not everywhere.
That's true.
So we have complementary ways of how we do this. So nitaenda pale, I talk to maybe a chief somewhere, and the chief will tell me you can set up camp in this place, because they know the people very well around them. They know the language that we need to use every other time. They are able to mobilize them on our behalf. So we collaborate with them so that when they have those chief barazas, we want to spread this tax gospel. We also have something we call the mobile tax units. And mobile tax unit is, if Times Towers was a bus that can move. I think that is the best way that I can describe it. So it's literally a moving office. And it's moving because we realize if you go to the Mashinani, hautapata stima. If you go to the Mashinani, you won't get computers. And you see, we are fairly an automated organization. So the bus comes, it's a full package. It does not.
Office, it's a mobile office.
It's a mobile office. It's a mobile office which has its own power, so that when we go to a place and they tell us there's no power, we'll still be able to offer the service. It has internet in it, we'll still be able to offer the service. Because the desire is, when you come to that bus, you feel as if you are in Times Tower being served by an officer seated comfortably somewhere else. Another thing that we do is town storms. Because like I say, everyone will tell you in Kenya, watu wanakwambia we are hustlers, and as hustlers, time is money.
That's true.
Yes, true. Speak to me in a language that I understand. Hawataki PowerPoint. PowerPoint ni zenyu for Times Towers. They don't want the PowerPoint. So they tell me, speak to me in a language yenye mi nitaelewa. So if it means Sheng, by all means, do it in Sheng. If you find yourself somewhere in Maralal, you better speak that Kimasai, because that is the only language that they'll understand.
That's true.
So usually when we are this mobile bus, the advantages that it has over maybe any other, we look at who are we bringing to your table. We are bringing you to the table someone who understands you. Atakuelewa. Ukimwambia ni Shebatang, ataflow nayo. Because you try going to Mkurwa, no one will hear what you're trying to see. It's a whole other language that we don't understand. If I go to the coastal region, I have to do it in Swahili, because otherwise I'll be speaking to myself. If I go to let me say the Western region in Seaport, I have to ask myself, do I have someone who actually understands this language?
So what you are saying is internally, you have capacity. And you have staff wenye mkienda huko mashinani, anaweza ongea lugha ya huko mashinani. So kama ni Wakikuyu, utakuwa na Mkikuyu pale. Kama ni Wakisii, mtakuwa na Mkisii pale. If it's Kambas, if it's Luyas, if it's Kales, that happens for all the activations that you do.
For every, before we do it, before we go and set up camp,
right,
I need to understand my audience. I'll just not go wake up and say, now I'm going. It's a matter of me connecting with the audience at the end of the day. And giving them something that is valuable to them, not to me, to them at the end of the day. So our target is always our audience. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like what you said, that because that sort of removes the language barrier that can be there when you're communicating with customers. And by the way, if you're everyone in Kenya is a taxpayer or a potential taxpayer. So everyone is your customer.
Yes.
Yeah. So perhaps, Penina, you can help us. Coming from the regions, what are some of the activities that you do, or some of the organizations that you partner with to implement Ushuru Mashinani initiatives?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that question. We partner with a number of organizations.
Yes.
As Corazon has just pointed out, our effort is to reach as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And bring them on board with tax knowledge.
Yeah.
So we have partnered in the past with churches like Sitam Thika Town. After their business forum, we took advantage of that opportunity and presented our tax matters to them and listened to them and brought them on board on the various issues that they had.
Yeah.
So we're also partnering with local administrators at the county level, the chiefs.
Yeah.
We actually understand that for us to reach the ground, we have to use what people are familiar with.
That's
and
true.
That's why we are taking advantage of these administrators. We are collaborating with them at just the local level so that our tax knowledge doesn't seem like a foreign product to them, rather than a product that they need to embrace because they are taxpayers, just like me and you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Are there times where you've perhaps encountered, perhaps you can give us an example, where you have gone to do Ushuru Mashinani, perhaps the outcome of it, a practical example of how you do it? Say, for example, at Thika or Nyeri, if you are to go to the chief, and then what happens after that? How does that work out?
Okay. So I'll use Thika as my example.
Yeah.
If I have to go to, let's say, a church,
yes,
it may be that the church is the one that is requesting for that forum, or I may be that I'm the one as KRA who is reaching out to the church.
Yeah.
So practically, it's just to bring out what I want the people to understand. Tax in the basis of the declarations that is filing, and also the payment of taxes, which is equally important.
Yeah.
So the engagement is with people at a level that they can understand, and also the issues to solve them to the best level possible, because you see, customer is my key focus in that particular engagement. So I have to make sure that the customer is well served, and to a level that they can find satisfactory. Yes.
Okay. Corey, maybe how do you get to share this message with people? If, say, you have an Ushuru Mashinani activation at a specific location, how do you alert then the public that this is going to happen at this time?
When we do Ushuru Mashinani, it depends with the approach that you're taking.
Yeah.
So if it's a chief barazas, we'll definitely have to involve the chief.
Yes.
And the chief will do, we call it mobilizing. It's really old school. It's as old school as it gets. You put what is it called? A speaker.
Yeah.
Kwa boda. Just to mobilize people and tell them on this and this day, we'll be here. So you just come and you'll be served. So sometimes we have programs that we have with the universities across. And how the universities Ushuru Mashinani program came about is we realized not all of us can know Shebateng, even if we wanted. And they have their own code and their own language, how they speak.
True.
So we ask ourselves, how can we bring them on board?
Yeah.
You see, and you see, tax is fairly complex. So we want to be able to write them in such a way that they'll be able to understand what they're saying. So you can be rest assured, ngoma inakuanga hapo. Miondoko inakuanga. There's miondoko. So there's miondoko. So we ask ourselves, okay, I'm going to this space. Which music are they even listening to?
That's true.
So which music are they? Yes. So we get to know. So we'll play those music. And the funny thing that I've realized across when you're doing the Ushuru Mashinani is if you play a song that they're familiar with,
right,
they'll come in. You'll get your own dancer. Hapo tu dance floor inakuja inatengenezwa. And the good thing about it, it breaks the formality. It's not too formal. Now it becomes something that it's friendly and acceptable to them. So we do music a lot. We play a lot of music. And then there's our hype man will be there just talking about taxes, different things, just so that we'll be able to drive traffic to where we have. And just to help them not to fear and think that it's something so big and out of this world. The university students, what they do for us is we train them. We train them because they are usually our bridge between what we feel is so complex and plain language. You'll find that if you tell a university something, you see those PowerPoints that we have, those long PowerPoints. So unapeleka 3 long PowerPoints and then they summarize it into 3 sentences. Wow. And the 3 sentences that they will summarize somehow gets to our target
to the audience.
Yes. So what we do with them, we call it town storm. So tunaenda, we storm an area and they'll be able to just go to whichever area it is that you've chosen. Right. And you see, since we have... we are on all 47 counties, you'll find that there are some universities that koko shago ndani. So we build them, empower them, so that they'll be able to empower the community around them. You see, out there, it's not that you're a KRA officer or not. You command a different form of respect depending on where you are. Kukua mtoto wa university ushago. That is a privilege. It's a privilege. So we usually tap into that just so that people will be able to connect with us, listen, and they also mobilize for us a lot of sessions. Hata kama ni fellow universities around them, they do it for us. So that at any given point, ukitana, hawakimbi. Wanajua, we're just out here to create awareness, serve you, and be able to assist you. They even go a long way into, you see those simple tasks that we do. I can remember during COVID, they came in very handy. I found myself, I was in Mombasa by then. I was in the southern region. And we had something called cessation of movement. Cessation meant I can't pass. It's an island. So you can't pass to go to Kilifi. And it's not like there are people who live around Mtwapa area who want to come for services in the Mombasa office. And then on top of cessation, we had another cessation. Cessation. So you were told, don't move from here to here. So we had a lot of difficulties because people still needed to pay their taxes. People needed these services. So what the university students did for us, they came up with a project called Jioko Nambao. So what Jioko Nambao was, they'll set up camp around an area where they are and file the returns. See, we've taught them and they know. They file their returns, they give us the report. The 20 bob was just so that they'll be able to buy bundles with it. So that way we ensured that during that time, at least it was seamless. No one could say, at least for that region when I was there, no one could say that they were not receiving any service. So it's the Ushuru Mashinani is about giving practical solutions that sometimes we may not necessarily think of as officers in KRA, but bringing in the community on board and asking them, okay, so this is the direction we need to go. Where do we move from here and how do we achieve this at the end of the day? We also had an engagement again with the markets where we were trying to talk to them about turnover tax. And they'll tell us, listen, it's 3%. How many people do you know? They described to us the market. And they told us, in this market, what KRA sees is mama mboga. That's what we see. But they told us, in this market, kuna mtu wa viatu hazitawahi haribika. Kuna mtu anauza grains, hazitawahi haribika. Kuna mama mboga mwenye mboga zake will probably get they'll get spoiled. Kienda, they can't necessarily sell it the next day. And then aside from that, there's another bigger mama mboga who brings things from Nini at around 3 a.m.
in bulk,
in a lorry and sells them. So how do we get all these people on board? The perishables, the ones sailing bales, the ones, so that at least we get to reach out to all of them. So they have, what we realized from that exercise is that each and every single one of them has like a head of, unaona vile si tuko na head of commissioner, commissioner konayo, commissioner grains, if I might say, commissioner.
Wow.
So all we needed to do was sort of, and you see, it even comes with timing. They'll tell you, are 3. If you're not here by 3 a.m., you're sahau. Utampata. And they still need this information. Mwengine wa bail, you have to come a certain time. Mwengine wa nini, come after 4, after they've sold, because they can't take time before they sell off these perishables. And through that, we managed to come up with a concrete Ushuru Mashinani plan, just catered for the markets at the end of the day. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. Providing practical solutions. Yeah. And you've spoken about leveraging on networks of university students. Then no one huwezi fikiria that pale sokoni they are networked like that.
Yes.
Like there's head of grains.
Yes.
There's head of, I'm telling you. So Penina,
yes.
Perhaps as we come to the close of this, in your own view, what do you think are some of the success factors of Ushuru Mashinani? What has helped Ushuru Mashinani work, for example, in your region?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the success of Ushuru Mashinani, I must say, the fact that initiative is going qua ground, it is already like a success, even before we actually measure the impact. To get to know that you can get KRA at whatever point, even in your hood, it is something that is very encouraging. And some of those things, the channels that we use, the local radio stations, you know, something gets more compassionate, like it gets more personal to you if you hear it in a language that you best understand.
You understand. That's true.
So when the announcements are coming in, let's say, Irware FM in Nyeri, and they're being rolled out in Kikuyu, the level of understanding is actually boosted. Our taxpayers get to understand what is this that the government expects of us. So that increased tax awareness, the increased presence of Ushuru Mashinani, the various platforms that we are getting, like away from the physical presence, to just think that there is a mobile tax unit that is coming maybe to your hood, that is something that really pushes that initiative to success.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And Corazon, you had mentioned working with university students. Is there something for students in high school? Is there a partnership with them? Are we trying to instill, culture of tax payments to the students at high school? What happens in that space?
So one thing that I can say for me makes me very happy about the Ushuru Mashinani is knowing that you're able to touch someone's life and impact it, so that they just look at it and see it from a completely different perspective. And the thing is, when out there, what I've noticed over the years is when you tell someone about KRA, they imagine that KRA that is what they always tell me. When they see me maybe coming to train, they'll tell me, we expected someone in a suit, serious, can't even smile, that is what they usually tell me. But for them to be able to see that this tax is not for, it's not for KRA and someone in Times Towers, it's for all of us. It's for all of us, and it can be delivered by anyone. Anyone under the sun has the capability to be able to just tell you, hey, this is what is required and this is how you get to do it. So what we have done as tax education is we've introduced tax in the curriculum. CBC. Wow. So every time when you'll see someone coming with homework, and you'll see some of the homework is about tax, where you just we're using the children to be able to do a call to action to their parents. this is tax, and this is what is required.
Right.
And the way it's done on the syllabus, it's so simple. It is so simple, you have no idea. I wish I had carried a book just to show you how it is.
Yeah.
It's delivered in such a simple way, and it's very impactful. Because then you want them to move from tax is more of a care thing or a government thing, but it's more of something that affects both me and you.
Lives, yes.
Before I come to what you're doing with school, I can remember there was a student called Janan. And Janan decided to do a project on tax. And the only reason why she decided to do a project on tax is because everyone was complaining. She was going to year 11. I think year 11 will be maybe Form 1 of equivalent.
Yeah.
Because the mother kept complaining about taxes. Dad complains about taxes. Out here, everyone is complaining about taxes. So she decided that what she's going to do is to do a project on taxes, just so that she gets to understand it. So when Janan came, so I was given her as her mentee just in the process.
Yeah.
So we walked a journey with her.
Yeah.
We walked a journey with her, and I remember asking Janan, do you know the importance of taxes? She told me, no. I told her, do you know that there's some areas that do not have food currently right now? And to be able to supplement, it's the government who is doing that. And it's the taxes that me and you pay that is helping. All those potholes that you used to see, they are being sorted out by the taxes that you pay. The hospital, the free primary education that people are enjoying right now, it's as the result of the taxes that we pay. So Janan looked at me and thought, "Ay, apana, you are lying." So we are danganya. You're not telling the truth. I can remember by then the mother was in the UK. So she calls the mom, and the mom says, it's true. She didn't buy that story. So the mom, when the mom came and asked, is it really true? So I even asked Janan, what is it that you normally watch at home? Akaambia mi naonanga Nickelodeon, naonanga Nickelodeon and Disney. I don't, so she was sort of totally, completely out of touch with what is actually happening right now. So when the mom came and told her, now she thought, okay, my mom can't be lying to me. So there must be some truth. So she came, so we took her through, she got to see what is happening. And I can remember she decided to do the project now. Yeah. So she did the project. We gave her things to show where we are coming from. The A26 forms, people call them A26. I don't know why. You remember those ones? Zakitambo. the return filing forms when it was still manual. Yeah. So we gave her, just took her through the journey. Yeah. The good thing, because of the impact that she had, she was selected to present it on behalf of all grade 11s. Yeah. So she presented. And when she did the presentation, she said everything. Trust you, me. 1,001 times better than I would have said it myself, because she really understood it and internalized it. And then after that, she handed out some sticky notes and asked the parents who were there in the audience, I've told you what my taxes have done to me. Now you tell me what it has done to you. Write it and post it. And at that point, we realized that the voice of a child is quite powerful. It's very powerful. Because even after that, after she did in the auditorium, when we went to her, now they had stands where parents would pass. Yeah. People had flanked in her stand. They just wanted to get to know more. And she had put in a big leso, a big flag, like leso, just saying, my taxes, my Kenya, this is me. So she really owned the taxes. Yeah. So what we did was ask ourselves, what if we can have 1,001 Janans saying this story? Yeah. Because they understand it. They're not biased whatsoever. So to complement what we have in CBC, in the mainstream curriculum, we have activities that we call tax clubs and tax societies. So what happens in tax club is we nurture them. We tell them, the way we're sijui ulikuwa club gani, music. I'm a drama. I don't know which club you are. So there's someone who actually has, there's a club called Tax Club.
Tax Club.
Yes, there's a club called Tax Club. And what we do is just keep them updated. Tell them, this is where we are at. This is what we are doing. And even when you are going out, we usually go out with them. Like the most recent one that we've had in March is we were at the show in Eldoret. We had set up camp, and we decided, let's bring on board our Center of Excellence. And that is AIC Chebisas.
Boys.
And they could sit and converse and talk to people. About taxes.
Wow.
And what I like, how they do it in such a fun and simple way. It can be a song, it can be spoken word, it can be an art. Because what they did was, I can remember they presented to us an art, and that showed us, this is what my taxes is actually doing for me.
Yeah.
And they could present it and people could see, and then they could be the ones serving them. And this helps us to demystify that thing that we think is so complicated.
Yeah.
It really helps us to demystify it at the end of the day, and then just passes this thing that you're trying to say. You can find these services as the comfort of wherever you are. Wherever you are, even your daughter at home will be able to just assist you to do it. Yes, so we have tax clubs, we have tax societies. We usually bring them together just so that we'll be able to sit and discuss issues about taxes and get people to understand. We had one session with Central Region on Saturday and Sunday where they were just debating about taxes. Yes. So it's for us, it's a powerful tool that you can use to pass this information and create awareness about taxes.
Right. So as we come to a close of this, perhaps Penina, unaweza tupatia comments zako za mwisho about Ushuru Mashinani? Then I'll go to Corazon and then we'll close.
Okay. Now, telling me to give comments about an initiative so big in like a minute. That's a tall order.
It's a tall one.
We have to understand that KRA is partnering with various people to make sure that tax knowledge reaches to each and every one of us. We ask that you partner with us through the local initiatives that we have with county administrators, with radio stations, and also county screens, and also on our social media platform, and make sure that you don't have your tax issue not sorted, because we are here for you.
Thank you, Penina. Corazon?
Yes. So, Ushuru on the go, Ushuru Mashinani, Ushuru kwa ground, we are everywhere. Yeah. And you're not leaving anyone behind. Really, it's, for us, it's our desire to be able to serve someone.
Yeah.
I usually ask my team and even myself, what makes you wake up every morning just to go and serve someone in the scorching sun? Hey, it's hard. In the scorching sun. And they'll still do it. They do it Monday to Saturday. Monday to Saturday, you'll always find someone out there just trying to offer this information. In the comfort, at our estate, we were in Feather Estate 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Even in the estate, just to make sure that people get this information. So for me, my parting shot will be just be on the lookout. See where you'll see KRA. Tuko hapo malimuna. I know we'll be in Mukuru on Friday. We're going to be in Mukuru kwa Jenga. We are currently right now for the whole week, we're going to be in Kamkunji just to offer these services. We were in Gong last week. So just watch out for where that mobile times tower is coming out next. Or the times towers on legs, because we also set up tents. I know we'll be in Kalasha. The Kalasha are having an awards. You will find us there. Yeah. You will find us in schools. We were supposed to go to Olympic tomorrow. So we are everywhere. And we are everywhere just so that we can pass this information and be able to serve you. We will do it happily. Happily. And we wake up every day happy, knowing that we will make a difference in someone's life. Because some people say, yani, kere mumefika si airport. Kere mumefika Kakuma.
Yeah.
Kere mkolamu. Yani, it just gives us so much joy to be able to see that someone feels that they are part and parcel of us. Yes, so that is my parting shot.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Penina. Thank you so much, Corazon, for joining us today. That's all we had for today. And for more information, kindly find us on www.kratv.go.ke. You can be able to watch more videos on tax education, or you can call us through our contact center, 0711 099 999. Asanteni, and see you next time. Bye-bye.